It is almost time for us to start putting some wobbles into our track, but before I do that, there's some things that have bugged me now when I play it back, so we need to basically fix it. So the stab effects, when I play it, it seems to end earlier than it really does. Here, listen to this. It goes VUM, and then after that there's about this much of a delay in between it. So what we see here is not really real. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn that warping thing off, and then as you can see it's actually shorter. Now warping is a great technology with Ableton Live, but in this case we don't really want it, so let's move this over, see what that sounds like. Sounds a lot better, goes right into the sub bass. And another thing what we need to do is let's tweak our sub bass here a little bit. Let's add some resonance to the sound, so before and after. Alright, so make sure that with all the sounds together that your master, which is the one right here, is not going into the red. So if you look at this volume slider here, you can see that mine is going into the red a little bit, and we don't want that to clip. Even though you don't really hear any problems with it, some speakers can't handle it. So I'm going to take the sub bass down by about 2 decibels. See what this does. That worked. I can also take the kick down maybe 0.5, and then maybe I can take the sub bass up a little bit by 0.5, so it would be minus 1.5. Let's see what this sounds like. It's still in the green. Excellent. Perfect. Let's see. Another thing that I want to do is to add more melody, because only one line of 4 measures isn't enough. So I'm going to select all this and then move it over by 1, including this one. And I've actually broken up this audio file here, so I'm going to select both and hit consolidate, and this brings it back into one file again. I'm going to select this one and duplicate it, and we want to make a secondary melody out of that second one. So let's solo this track. That may already do it. Let's see what it sounds like in the full track here. Let's duplicate this one also. Of course we need that secondary melody over here also, so let's select both of them, right click, consolidate, and this will make it one clip. And now when I'll drag it over, I'm just overwrite the other one, and then we need to duplicate this as well, so I'm going to Command D on that one. And I'm not going to consolidate these because these are basically the same melody. I'm only consolidating them when I make a longer melody, and so I'm going to select this also and Command D for duplicate. And we don't need this riser again because it's not that big a difference. We are gonna add some wobbles in here to fill up these spaces. So right now we have our drum going on, and as you can see, the kick here, there's nothing there, and this is largely open. This is largely open, and if you take that down, there's no melodies in those spaces also, and there's no sub bass in those spaces also, except for, of course, a secondary melody. And I've did that on purpose so that it leaves open room for our wobbles to go a little bit crazier, to really get those wop into your sound, and that way it doesn't conflict with anything else, so that we can use the full frequency spectrum for just that sound. I'm also going to tweak these a little bit, this secondary melody. think it's still a little bit too aggressive. So we need to take all of these down. So let me select this whole thing and move these down. And I don't want too many high tones in there, so I'm going to tweak these just a little bit. Let's try a somewhat faster wobble, see what that does. Alright, I'm going to keep it around the 1 and 3 because that sort of gives it different measures, not too predictable. And I'm going to take it even down a little bit more, like maybe -14. Yep, that's what I like. Alright, so next, now that we've perfected it a little bit, we are going to make some wobbles, I would think. So let's move on and continue.